From propeller trainers to supersonic jet fighters, North Vietnam built an air force that challenged the most powerful military on Earth. This is the story of every aircraft Vietnam used against the United States. MiG-17 Fresco. The MiG-17 was the backbone of North Vietnam's fighter force during the early years of the war. Subsonic but extremely maneuverable, it excelled in close-range dogfights. At low speeds, it could outturn many American fighters. Armed with cannons rather than missiles, the MiG-17 proved deadly in visual combat and surprised U.S. pilots accustomed to high-speed engagements. MiG-19 Farmer. The MiG-19 was North Vietnam's first supersonic fighter. Fast and powerful, it carried heavy cannon armament and could challenge U.S. aircraft in speed and climb. However, it suffered from short-range and maintenance difficulties. Despite its limitations, it marked an important step in Vietnam's air defense capability. MiG-21 Fishbed. The MiG-21 became the most famous Vietnamese fighter of the war. Small, fast, and difficult to detect, it was designed for hit-and-run tactics. Guided by ground-based radar, MiG-21 pilots would attack quickly and disengage before American escorts could react. It became the most successful Vietnamese aircraft against U.S. forces. MiG-15 UD. The MiG-15 UD was primarily a trainer aircraft. However, it was occasionally used in operational roles, including familiarization flights and limited combat support. Its presence helped train pilots transitioning to more advanced fighters. Shenyang J-5. The Shenyang J-5 was a Chinese-built version of the MiG-17. Supplied to North Vietnam by China, it performed the same role as its Soviet counterpart. It strengthened Vietnam's ability to field multiple squadrons without relying on a single supplier. Il-28 Beagle. The Il-28 was a twin-engine jet bomber. Vietnam used it primarily for training, deterrence, and limited operational roles. Though rarely used in direct bombing missions against U.S. forces, its presence forced American planners to consider potential threats. Su-7. The Su-7 was a high-speed ground attack aircraft. While limited numbers were supplied, it demonstrated Vietnam's attempt to expand beyond pure interception. Operational use remained restricted due to logistics and training challenges. Il-29 Delphine. The Il-29 was a jet trainer aircraft. Though not designed for combat, it played a vital role in pilot training. By preparing new pilots quickly, it indirectly supported frontline fighter operations. And Tu-Colt. The Antonov II was a slow, rugged biplane transport aircraft. Despite its outdated design, it proved extremely useful. It operated from short, rough airstrips and was used for transport, supply missions, and even harassment operations. In some cases, An-2S conducted night missions that were difficult for U.S. jets to intercept. An-24. The An-24 was a turboprop transport aircraft. It carried personnel, equipment, and supplies within North Vietnam. While not a combat aircraft, it was essential for sustaining Air Force operations. Li-2. The Li-2 was a Soviet-built version of the Douglas D-3, used for transport and logistics. It helped maintain internal supply networks. Its reliability made it valuable even as newer aircraft entered service. Mi-4 helicopter. The Mi-4 was a piston-engine transport helicopter. It supported troop movement, logistics, and medical evacuation. Although vulnerable to enemy fire, it played a role in mobility and support operations. Mi-8 helicopter. The Mi-8 was a more modern and capable helicopter. It offered greater payload, range, and reliability. The Mi-8 became one of the most important rotary-wing aircraft in Vietnamese service. Reconnaissance and support aircraft. Vietnam also operated various reconnaissance and liaison aircraft. Vietnamese air strategy focused on efficiency rather than dominance. Aircraft were rarely sent into battle alone. Every engagement was supported by ground radar, surface-to-air missiles, and anti-aircraft artillery. Fighters were used sparingly, preserving pilots and aircraft for favorable engagements. The goal was not air superiority. The goal was disruption. Every intercepted bomber, every aborted mission, and every forced retreat mattered. Vietnam's aircraft forced the United States to adapt. New tactics were developed. Training was improved. Air combat doctrine evolved rapidly as a result of this conflict. The Vietnam War reshaped modern air warfare. Missile combat proved unreliable. Dogfighting returned. Pilot skill once again became critical. Despite limited resources, Vietnam built an air force that achieved strategic impact. Its aircraft were not always superior, but they were used with discipline, coordination, and precision. From agile MiG fighters to slow but effective transport planes, every aircraft played a role. This was the complete story of every aircraft used by Vietnam against the United States. If you had to choose one aircraft that defined the Vietnam Air War, which would it be? The nimble MiG-17, the deadly MiG-21, or the unexpected In-2 biplane?